Hey guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode of DesignTech. And in today's episode, we are going to be taking pretty much one of the last steps before we can really get to building epic things, and that is setting up a tree farm. I've got my ender quarry that basically gets me all the resources I need and then some. I've got big reactor power. Speaking of which, I actually have dual big reactor power. I put in another one down here, highly efficient, that I'm going to use pretty much just to power the tree farm and these chunk loaders. I can always update it if I need to. But, I mean, I've got resources like you wouldn't believe. I've got tons of power. I've got pretty much everything I need. The only thing that I don't have is a solid, steady source of wood to build with. Everything else I can get pretty easily, or I just frankly don't need a whole lot of. So what we're going to do in today's episode is we're going to set up a tree farm. And I have pretty much everything that we need in this backpack right here, I think, anyway. But we need to find a suitable location for this tree farm. I'd prefer for it to be somewhere relatively flat. Looks like there's a pretty decent location maybe right in here. And maybe south over here. I'm thinking over here looks like a pretty good spot. So let's head over that way. Now, these are going to be chunks that are not always loaded, or at least normally. However, I fought the Wither a couple more times. I have a special Wither killing sword right here with lifesteal 2 on it and sharpness and all sorts of good stuff. And it will let me basically tank through the Wither without getting completely killed, even though it's still a bit messy. At some point, I would like to set up a proper Wither farm that will allow me to actually, kill the Wither without too many difficulties. Now, I just realized that I forgot something. Oh, man. All right, guys, let me run back to the base real quick, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back, and I think this location will work just fine, although we definitely have some work to do. And that is why I had to run back to the base. I want to use this sickle, because it will make this so much easier. Yes, I know there's a trick with water buckets and stuff, but it doesn't work all that well, honestly. It kind of is one of those things where, you have to do it just right to get the water to go where it wants, and I've always kind of found it more trouble than it's worth. So, instead, we can make a sickle like this, and that will just chop down basically all of these plants at once, which, oh man, look at the time saver here. Look at how fast this is going. We're almost done already, clearing out a pretty sizable area for our tree farm. Look at that. Man, woo, love it. All right, so this is a pretty good sized area. We are going to have, at least to start with, a total of 6 tree farms. And the other thing that we should really consider as we're doing this is the chunks. Because I've got a limited number of chunk loaders. Chunk loaders are not only very expensive to make, they're also really expensive to power, so we want to be careful there. So let's take a look at the chunks here. Okay, so we have kind of a central chunk right here. So if we put our chunk loader underground here, this will actually work out quite nicely. That will give us basically all of this space, so that works beautifully. Okay, and let's see how far these go. We said this is kind of our central chunk, so we know to clear a little bit more space coming out this way. Because we'd also know that we're not going to be using any chunks that are more than 1 away, because it just, the power. It just takes an insane amount of power. So, this'll work. This'll work quite nicely. I do want to fill in that hole, and I think I probably want to chop down that tree right there as well. So let's do... There we go. That was weird. Didn't want to take the whole tree. Bizarre. Okay. Well, we'll just do a little bit of that, a little bit of this. All right, let me get the area prepared here, guys, and I will be back in just a moment. All right, guys, I am back, and we've got this beautifully cleared out, looking great. So now, the next step is going to be to lay out our actual tree farms. And we know that the chunk loader is going to have to go in here somewhere. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find basically the middle of this chunk, which I think is about there. That looks about right. And then we're going to make this real easy on ourselves by going down to this level and just basically hollowing out tunnels underground until we get to the next chunk boundary. Okay, so there we go. And just to keep things easy, let's also put a torch or two down. And this will make it real easy for us once we get to the point where we're ready to start laying down conduits and piping and all that kind of crazy stuff. So we've got a chunk here, which comes to right here, and then we need to take this until we get to a chunk boundary right there. Beautiful. Okay. So we've got that taken care of. And that will also let us hide the vast majority of our conduits, which is always a good thing because those things are ugly. So now it's time to go ahead and lay out our farms themselves. Sorry, horsey, but you gotta go. Okay. I think the rest of them can stay. So, let's see. Let's take out our planters, and we'll put... actually, let me put pretty much all of this junk away, too. There we go. And then we can move a few of these, like so. Let's grab our planters and our harvester. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll put the planters basically right here. I need one block. Isn't that just typical? Like, keep them in here? Yeah, there we go. So that's where the planter's gonna go. Like that. Okay, now we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. These, yeah, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll leave 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be a planter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I think that's too much space. Yeah, that's going to be too much space. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a planter. Space, 1, 2, 3, 4. Planter, 1, 2, 3. Oh, beautiful. Just barely within the chunks. Exactly what we need. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. Space, 3, 4. Planter. Space, 1, 2, 3, 4. Planter. And 1, 2, 3. That one's just outside, but that's okay. That's fine. That will give us 5 farms. And since we're planning to do at least one radius increase, we could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, space. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, planter. 1, 2, 3, 4, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, planter. And we wouldn't quite have room for a full farm there, but we'd have room for pretty close to a full farm. So I'll just lay one out over here too. And I'll just leave that one right there, because we're not going to plan to expand that way just yet. Maybe eventually, but not at this time. And... oh, I derped. I totally did, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, I based the whole thing off the planter being right here. Ah, it's going to be that kind of a day, I can just tell. Alright, let's fix that. So now we'll put a planter there. Oh, actually, it needs to go down one. Just kidding. So we'll put a planter there. We'll put a planter right there. We'll put a planter there. And then we'll come over here and we will do the same thing. Like so. And that one we're just going to leave because we don't have room for a full farm. So let's see. Would we? No, not quite. What about over here? This one we would. Let's put our other tree farm right here. This'll work. I wasn't originally planning on doing that, but we're going to make an exception because sometimes that's just what you got to do. So let's see here. Come on. And just to make things easy, we'll do that as well. There. That looks good. Okay. And let's find the hole. And the last planter will go right there. Okay. So those will then be able to plant our fields. Now, we need to put down the harvesters, and that's going to be a little bit easier. We're just going to line up with the planters, go 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. And we can pretty much do that, the rest of them now, just kind of by eyeballing it, like so. And I did put a planter there, and then I also put one over here. And I think I'm actually going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And that way it's just less conduits. These are not going to be the prettiest farms in the world, but they will get the job done. And this is going to be an area of the world that we're not actually going to build in at all, other than what we're building right now. So shouldn't be that big of a deal. I think it'll be fine. I do want to get some torches in here, though, just to keep nasty things from spawning. There we go. All right, so now that we have the harvesters in place, the next step is going to be to hook all of those things up. And actually, you know what I should do? Is I should do this same thing that I did a minute ago for the rest of it. There we go. Like so. Beautiful, beautiful. And that will bring us to there. We're just making all these secret tunnels down here. There's the boundary of the chunk. And if you don't know, to enable the chunk boundaries in NEI, all you actually need to do is hit F9 on your keyboard, I believe is the default, if I remember correctly. So now I think we're good. At this point, all we got to do is run all the conduits. And that is not going to be all that difficult to do. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and place down the stuff that we need to run the conduits. Oh, I'm still missing I still have a planter and a harvester in my inventory. Where'd those come from? Okay, well, I guess I'm going to put one here too. I didn't realize that I still had any left. I guess we'll make use of them. I mean, it won't be a full... it'll be missing, like, a block, but... I mean, if I've got them, why not use them? I'll just put one there. Whatever. Okay, so... Anyway, as I was saying, the next step is going to be to run the conduits to what we're actually going to be running them to. And there are basically a few things that I'm going to be doing. So first and foremost, I'm going to have a couple different tesseracts. And the first tesseract is going to be power. And we're going to run that off the second generator. So we'll set it to energy receive, just like that. And then underneath it, we're going to put this chunk loader, which is going to start filling up with energy. And we'll bump it up to 2. We can increase the amount of stuff. We can increase the amount of power being put out by the reactor in a little bit. I'll worry about that later. So, this is our power. And that's going to be very, very important for a couple of different reasons. So, let's see here. As far as the planters themselves go, is it night? It is totally night. Let's take a little nap. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run conduits from the harvesters to the planters and then to the tesseract. So let me get that done here, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, I am back, and I finally have all of this done. Took me quite a while, but I think I've finally got it all done. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. We've got conduits all over the place. It looks a lot more complicated than it is. Basically, each of the harvesters has 3 conduits coming out of it: a power, an item, and a fluid. Each of the planters has 2 conduits running into it: an item and a energy. So, how this works is when the harvester harvests the trees, it sends any saplings straight back into the planter until the planter itself is completely full. And after that, any extra items that aren't saplings get sent into this chest, which then sends them basically directly into my ME system. So, that is awesome. The fluid runs into this giant hole, and in this hole we are going to put 3 sludge boilers, which I just realized need power as well. So we should probably do that. Let's just grab... Let's just run it. Where do I want to run that from? What's closest? Probably just here, honestly. We could just run it straight down. Like that. And that should be able to reach from here. Yeah, there we go. So now these are filled with power, as they should be. So now any sludge will end up right down in here where it belongs. And we're going to put that into insert, insert, and insert. So, sludge goes into the sludge boiler, which will then turn it into various items like clay or sand or things like that. And then those items will be sent directly into this chest as well, to be sent back to the ME system. So, the only kind of kink in this system is that in order to get going, I need at least enough saplings to fill one of these planters. Otherwise, I can't do it. So, I'll show you what I mean. Let's just grab a dirt block or whatever. So, I'll show you what I mean here. if I fill this planter, for example, with rubber, notice that I am turning consume stack to off. That means that it's not going to plant any of those rubber trees until I put more rubber saplings in there. What that means, the reason that I'm doing that is it basically means that the birch harvesters can't send their saplings to, say, the rubber planter and all that kind of stuff. It helps me keep my fields the way that I want. But the downside, as I said, I need at least 16 saplings before I can plant any. Otherwise, they get all goofy and messed up. So we'll get rubber going, we'll get oak going. We can get birch going right here. Consume stack off. Why you not have power? Something's a little derped up there. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. I also managed to pick up mining fatigue somehow. Oh, I see what the problem is. I forgot to run power to that one. That would do it. Problem solved. There we go. Now, yeah, there we go. Now I can plant my birch saplings in there. And let's do spruce. I'm going to end up with an insane amount of spruce trees. So we'll do spruce in this one. Like that. And then put those in. And what I actually want to do is actually, I'm going to plant these spruce ones manually. That's what I'm going to do. So let's just go 4 there and 1 there. Or actually, we'll spread these ones out like that. Give them some room to kind of do their thing, if you know what I mean. Or, let's see, if we put this in, where's it going to pop up? Okay, just kind of wherever it can. Is it always those two? No, it's not. Okay, well, this is going to grow into a super tree, and I am more than happy to let it do that. In the meantime, I'll let these ones kind of grow into their own little trees. And that's pretty much all I've got for saplings. So now all we need to do is kind of test out the system, just make sure that everything's working. Since I don't have any more saplings to plant, I've got those cherry wood, but I don't have enough to fill a planter. So the way that we're going to test the system and make sure that it is properly sending stuff to the ME system, which it isn't, extract, insert, okay, items, send. Why are you not withdrawing from this chest? This chest is filling. Extract, active without signal. What if I change that to always active? Ignored. Item send. I don't know why this isn't working. That's bothersome. Unless it should be able to extract from a chest, I thought. Yeah, there's no reason it shouldn't be. Let's see. Maybe it needs speed upgrades? Or something? Channel. Channel green. Signal color. I wonder if something got... Let's just do this. Let's just go ahead and replace it. Maybe I derp something up. Extract. Insert. It is not drawing items. Well, you know what we could probably do is we might just be able to... Where did my item conduits go? There they are. What we might be able to do is just insert it this way and have everything go directly in there. Now we've got sludge coming down here, slowly filling stuff up. This does seem to be working. So I guess the only way to test and make sure that it's working at this point is to actually head back to our base and check our ME system and make sure that it's actually turned on and receiving all the spruce and jungle wood and stuff like that. And it'll probably be the jungle wood that it gets first. So I'm going to head back to base, guys, and I will meet you there. All right, guys, I am back at the base, and I have figured out what the problem is. The problem is that our ME system is completely and totally full with items. It's filled. It can't fit any more stuff in it. So what we're going to have to do to fix that is pretty straightforward. I think all I should have to do is put the export bus there, put an import bus there, and then we can grab a few of these ME conduits. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like we got to use the ones that we have stored in here right now. Is it what are they called? Cables. Glass cables, I think. Yeah, there they are. Okay. And then we also need another export bus. And we don't have any pistons in here, really? I thought I made a whole bunch of pistons. Let's make one of those real quick. And now we'll make an export bus. Okay, so now, in theory, at least, if I do that, wait a minute. Oops. Put the wrong stuff on the wrong stuff. We need our export buses there and our import bus there. There we go. Like so. And now I think, in theory, this thing should empty. And then what we'll do is we'll put a couple of speed upgrades on that so it can empty considerably faster. And we'll put a couple speed upgrades here as well. And now those should be filling up. Is this one filling up too? Doesn't seem to be at the moment, but that's okay. Ooh, can I get out of here? There we go. So now, yeah, now we can see, if you look at the wood, you can see the jungle wood going up. You saw the oak going up. The birch is going up. It is working the way it should be. So, we are good to go, guys, and that is definitely all the time that we have for this episode. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.